Hello, everyone. My name is Ricardo Della Rosa. This is my research presentation project um, for Public Health 161 with Dr. Kwan. And today I'll be talking about prenatal and postnatal exposure to organophosphates by me. Introduction. The chemical compound that will be discussed is organophosphate pesticides. Organophosphates are used very frequently around the world and is one of the most used pesticides in the world. Research proposal. What are the effects of organophosphates during or after pregnancy? Risk assessment statement. The exposure from being exposed during pregnancy can happen from residentially used pesticides and being in an agricultural environment. The risk of being exposed to these organophosphates is that the OP pesticide targets the central nervous system for insects, although it can have also the same effect on humans. The possible effects on children during pregnancy who are exposed are as follows: impaired cognitive and motor function, decreased fetal weight and length, a possibility of premature birth, birth complications, respiratory problems, and affected neurodevelopment. All the sources will be using DAPs or dialkyl phosphate metabolites to measure exposure to organophosphates. Analysis of source 1. The first analysis of the source found that there was lowered birth weight and growth within the first trimester of birth. The first trimester is when the child is developing the vital organs, and this lowered weight and birth can be explained by the OP pesticide attacking the central nervous system of the mother while developing the vital organs. The first trimester is the most vulnerable for the fetus within pregnancy. Therefore, the exposure can attack the baby at its most vulnerable time of development. Analysis of source 2. The second analysis showed a reduced mental development, but only from about 24 months and thereafter. The study was unable to find any correlation before 24 months of development. The tests of the mental development indexes, or MDIs, were lower at about 24 months and thereafter. There were also lowered perceptual reasoning, working memory, verbal comprehension, and processing speed. These lowered scores showed that the effect of organophosphates can affect development throughout any time during or after prenatal or postnatal. Analysis of source 3. The analysis of this source of OPs focuses on pregnant mothers in agricultural areas, which exposes them not only to OPs, but other various pesticides. The study utilized dialkyl phosphate urine samples, or DEPs, to assess exposure levels, much like the previous analysis, conducting tests twice during pregnancy and postnatal. While the mean birth weight was overall normal, a 9% outlier of premature births suggests a potential impact of organophosphate exposure on prenatal development, particularly evident during the third trimester, where a spike in DAPs correlates in premature births. Analysis of source 4. This study focuses on Thai pregnant mothers, considering Thailand's agricultural setting as a factor influencing exposure to organophosphates. Dialkyl phosphate urine samples, DEPs, were again used for testing, with a focus on postnatal and neurodevelopment effects at 5 months of age. The results of this study had shown a small number of preterm births, and Bayley 3 test results at 5 months indicating lower cognitive and motor scores, which suggests a delayed postnatal neurodevelopment effect due to exposure. Analysis of source 5. The final study of the research paper examined pregnant mothers in the Salinas Valley, a primarily agricultural area where many organophosphates were sprayed in fields. Respiratory problems associated with organophosphate exposure were the focus. Using dialkyl phosphate metabolites, DAPs, in urine samples for prenatal and postnatal testing, much like, again, the previous samples. While DAPs were detected in the second half of pregnancy, no direct correlation with respiratory issues was found. However, respiratory problems were observed in children aged 6 months to 5 years, suggesting a delayed effect of prenatal exposure on physical health, possibly due to disruption of the mother's central nervous system. Despite this, no significant links were found in children aged 5 to 7, indicating potential resilience or adaptation over time. And here is my reference list. Thank you for watching.